Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Tech, where members of the SSCL Digital Literacy Services staff offer you helpful tips and tricks regarding personal technology usage in 5 minutes or less. This week we're going to take a look at the Google Chrome settings. So this is Google's web browser, Chrome, and we're going to take a look at the settings that allow you to customize the web browser experience. So of course the first thing you have to do is to go online with Google Chrome, or to download it to your computer if you haven't already. And when you first do that, you come up with a page that looks like the one in front of you, and you'll notice we've got no home button in here anywhere. We have no menu bar or favorites bar anywhere. So I'm going to show you how you can turn those options on and how you can do a few other things. So to access Google settings, you come up here in the top right hand corner and you click on those three lines in the gray box. It says customize and control Google Chrome, and that's what we want to do, so we're going to left click on that little symbol, and then we have a menu, and there are a number of things you can do with this menu, but we're going to go down here to settings and left click on that, and this opens the basic settings panel for Google Chrome. And up here at the very top it says settings, it says sign in to Google Chrome with your Google account to save your personalized browser features, blah blah blah. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to. If you have a Gmail account, you might want to do that. It allows you to customize things a little bit more as far as how things look, but you don't have to sign in to use Google Chrome. Our second section here says on startup, and this means when you first open the Google Chrome web browser, you can tell the web browser to do a couple of things. You can select open the new tab page, which is the default. You can click in the box here to the left of continue where you left off, and that could be your option. And if you did that, then the next time you went online, the pages that you had opened last time you were online would come up automatically. So if you had the Weather Channel open and the CNN Sports section open, and you got off the internet today and went back on tomorrow, those two web pages would display again. Or you can select the option to open a specific page or set of pages. And that might be helpful if you have several different websites that you really like, that you look at every day, like say the Weather Channel and maybe CNN or the New York Times. You could tell Google Chrome that you wanted those 3 or 4 pages that represent your favorite websites to open every time you launch Google Chrome. And then the next section here, it says appearance. Get themes. Now to get themes you do have to log in, but you can make Google Chrome look really fancy if you want to. You can change the background and all kinds of things like that. But this section is also where we have the options to show the home button and always show the bookmarks bar. So I'm going to turn those options on, and you'll see now we've got the little house there, so we can now go home if we want to, back to our home page. And if we click the option to always show the bookmarks bar, it does indeed display all the bookmarks that I have already set here for Google Chrome, because this is my preferred web browser. And I think this is really cool. This is a nicer display of your favorites, or your bookmarks, if you like to call them that, than Internet Explorer has, because Internet Explorer tends to have this list that you click favorites and then it has a menu that goes down. Whereas with Google Chrome they all go across. So I can click on, Amazon if I want to go there, or if I want to go to the Weather Channel. I could go to those web pages very quickly without having to access a menu. So that's kind of neat. So having talked about appearance, now we're down to the search section. It says set which search engine is used when searching from the Omnibox. The default is Google, and that would make sense because this is Google's Chrome web browser, so you would think that Google would be the default search engine. And I'm not sure why you want to change that, but if you did want to, you click the down arrow here and you can make your default search engine Yahoo, Bing, Ask, or AOL if you wanted to. We're going to leave it on Google. Down here it says users, you are currently the only Google Chrome user. And that's true because this is a work computer, so I'm the only one that uses this computer. But if you had several people within a household that were going to use a web browser, you could add the new users, so you could have 3 or 4 different people. Yeah, sorry about my mail popping up there. Let me close that. Always forget to do that. So back to the user section here. If you have several people with Google accounts, you can use this section to create logins for them and then you can easily switch between the logins so that your customization features are attached to your login. And then lastly, it says default browser, make Google Chrome the default browser. You might want to do that with a Windows computer, because by default on a Windows computer, Internet Explorer is the web browser, and that's because Internet Explorer is a Microsoft product, and of course Windows computers are Microsoft computers. So if you click that, that will make Google Chrome your web browser by default. And then lastly here it says show advanced settings. I'm not going to get into that this week, but we'll take a look at that another time. It does offer you a few more bells and whistles that you can set and use to customize Google Chrome. But that's the basic lowdown on how you change the basic functions of Google Chrome. So thanks for watching. Have a great week, and if you wish to contact us with any questions about this video clip, please do. We're the SSCL Digital Literacy Department, and you can contact us at the library, the Southeast Bend County Library in Corning, New York, at area code 607-936-3713. You can drop by the library, or you can send an email to us at diglit@stls.org. That's diglit@stls.org. Thanks for watching.